What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. Welcome back to Steelers Almighty. We appreciate everybody being in here. Training camp underway, day 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Started to see a little bit more and maybe where this team is going to be dominant. We kind of thought that going into the season. It's still early, so let's not go overboard, but we're starting to see a little bit more of what things may look like and where maybe the strength of everything is on this football team. So we got a good show for you guys today, talking about tell you a little bit about what happened. The Steelers defense dominated day 3 today, just absolutely dominant. We'll talk about that. Will Howard, the people's champ. I mean, the man got the biggest ovation of camp. Every time he goes out there, he gets the biggest ovation. We'll talk about that. And then our man from last year, if you remember, Steelers Almighty was all over Beanie Bishop. Got to get in, got to make the team. We want this guy to make the team. He was basically our fan favorite. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Beanie, man. It's going to be tough. So we'll talk about all that and more. Make sure you guys get in the chat. Let us know some things that you want to talk about, questions based on what we're talking about. Again, if you want to support the channel, you know how to do that. Super chats are wide open, so we appreciate that. We got members that are in here. Felicia is in here. Hey, Felicia, how is it going? I appreciate you. CID is in here today. How is it going? We appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys for showing up. It is a good day today. I was just in the pool. I don't know if my face looks darker, but I was just in the pool. And look, for my goal is to be as dark as this shirt. That is my goal. I know some people are going to laugh. Some people are going to frown upon that. I don't care. That's my goal, is for me to come on here one day and y'all say, where the hell is Big B? I see a hat. I see some teeth. I see some eyes, but I don't see anything else. That is my ultimate goal. So I appreciate y'all being in here, man. Arch Baby Doll, how are you doing? How is it going, man? We appreciate you. Thank you for showing up. Hope you're feeling good. But good day today as far as Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. So the Steelers, the defense dominated today. You know, they won 7 shots, and we'll get into that. And if anybody doesn't know, basically 7 shots is where the Steelers line up. They run 7 plays, 1 goal to go, and offense, defense, just 1 play. And they run 7 of them, so there's an absolute winner and a loser. And the defense won today. The one thing that came out of that you know, we got to talk about it is Zach Frazier. Zach Frazier, this is the second day in a row, the first snap, bad snap. The second day in a row, this today, it seemed like the coaches got a little pissed because they yanked his ass right out of there. And, you know, the first snap, bad snap again. Steeler coaches are not trying to deal with that nonsense. They're trying to get work done. You can't get work done if you have bad snaps. And they just yanked him out. Yesterday, they let it go and they gave the offense an extra play. Today, they did not do that. Now, he came back in right after, but Zach Frazier, I know it's early, and I'm not alarmed, but got to get it together. Bad snaps are not, it shouldn't be a thing. They should not be a thing. Got to get all of this worked out. You know, it's not where, hey, he snapped it and the quarterback wasn't ready, or no. Just bad snaps. So we got to get all that figured out. But the defense won the day today. Interception. Jalen Ramsey picked off another pass. Made a great play. Joey Porter Jr. locking up DK. I mean, it was a defensive day. Here's another thing. I said this yesterday. It held true again today. Our man Derek Harmon, first round draft pick. He's been unblockable. He's just been unblockable, ladies and gentlemen. Now, again, you know how we do it here on Steelers Almighty. I always tell it like it is. It's tougher on offensive guys in the trenches when there's no pads on, okay? It's tougher. No breastplates to hold, you know. It's just tougher. So I get that part of it. But Derek Harmon's been unblockable, which is a good thing. You know, that's a good thing. Another person that looks good, somebody that I was frustrated when the Steelers drafted him, Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer's been turning the corner on tackles, turning on Broderick Jones, turning on Troy Fautanu. Jack Sawyer. I hope he proves me wrong. I said it at the time when he got drafted. I didn't like it. I'm not going to backtrack from saying that I didn't like it. You all know me. I'm never a hypocrite. But I also said, I hope he proves me wrong. And it's early in camp, 3 days in, but so far, he's proven me wrong. So great. I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. Prove me wrong. So, but yeah, the defense, they got the better of the offense today. First day, it was kind of the same thing, but it wasn't as lopsided. Today, it was pretty lopsided because I think on day 2, the offense won. But on day 3, yeah, the defense won. And today, it was pretty lopsided that the defense won. And, oh, by the way, it was without TJ Watt. It was without Cam Hayward. It was without Darius Slay. Those guys didn't practice today. Got a vet day, So things of that, it's just something to look at and watch. The defense is playing pretty well right now. Jack Sawyer out there making plays. Patrick Queen out there making plays. Our man Dante Kent made a play. Look, we're going to get into Beanie Bishop and all that stuff, but Dante Kent, he's flashing, ladies and gentlemen. He's flashing. The defense is looking good. The defense is looking good. So, but again, it's early, and you would expect on most professional football teams, you would expect the defense to kind of dominate early. And that's what they're doing. They're out there, they're running around. The offense doesn't have a whole lot of continuity as of yet. No pads. Again, things change without pads. I know people, me included, we get excited early on, but when pads get on, it's just different. It's just different. So things are going to be a little bit different once the Steelers put the pads on and the pads start popping. There were some dust ups today. You're starting to see that a little bit, which I like. Long as nobody's throwing stupid punches, I like some back and forth, pushing and shoving. Love it. Love every bit of it. And so that happened a little bit today. You're going to see more and more of that as training camp goes on. And I think most of us Steeler fans like that. I'll be honest. I haven't run into a Steeler fan that has not liked that. So I have not run into a Steeler fan that doesn't like when the Steelers get after a little bit. Arch Baby Doll says, I'm going to camp this week sometime. Absolutely. We love that, Arch Baby Doll. Good for you. Good for you. That is awesome. Miss Felicia, the O-line better keep their hands on the inside of the opponent and block their man. Hey, as long as I don't care where, as long as they don't get called for holding. Yesterday, what I saw from Broderick Jones, the first 2 days, look, I just hope he's better with the pads on. I just hope Broderick Jones is better with the pads on, ladies and gentlemen. I saw the same kind of effort, the same lack of awareness. I just hope he gets better when the pads come on. Because if he does, great. But, yeah, he's got to play better. Got to play better. It's early. I don't want anybody panicking just yet. It's early, so we'll get it figured out. So, but hopefully we'll see something better. But I'm encouraged. But what I see defensively, Arch Baby Doll only lives 45 minutes away from Latrobe Field. I love it. I love it. So, but that's the difference. It's early. We'll get it figured out. We'll get this thing figured out as it goes. But defense played good today. Defense had a good day. Aaron Rodgers did not have a good day today. And that's okay. You're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. Jonnu Smith was out there for the first time practicing full go. So I know there were some people that were worried. Jonnu Smith was out there today because the first 2 days he had just done some stretching, didn't even get in individual drills. Today, he was a full participant in practice. So, guys a little older, takes a minute to get into, into playing football, did what he needed to do, and he was out there today, so good for him. Jeremiah Moon happened to go off today. He got hurt at the very beginning of practice. Like, he may have even got hurt in individual drills right after stretching. So he got carted off today. They haven't said, at least I haven't seen yet, what Jeremiah Moon, any injury there. Still no Cordell Patterson. He's still not practicing. I wouldn't suspect that we see a lot of Cordell Patterson in training camp. I'm going to guess the Steelers, we just don't see a lot. They're not going to cut him. I know people are like, just cut him. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that right now. So we got time before anything like that happens, but we'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't suspect we see a whole lot from Cordell Patterson. My man Vegas here, he says, watch Will on Gruden's show if you haven't already done so. I mean, I think we're past that right now, though, as far as Will Howard. We'll talk about Will Howard. But as far as the Steelers, what looked good today, that's what looked good today. DBs look pretty good today. They look pretty good today. Offense, not so much. They had a couple of runs, though. I will say this. Caleb Johnson looked good in a run. Jaylen Warren. But it's so tough when there's no pads and there's no tackling. You know what I mean? Because running backs break tackles. And it's amazing, and I think it's always funny, that defenders, you know, when there's no pads on, they run up to you and they touch you like, oh, yeah, you're tackled. And I'm like, yeah, guys break tackles in the National Football League. I mean, how many tackles have we seen Jaylen Warren break, you know? So it's like, yeah, they're not just down because you ran up to them and you touched them with a hand. Sorry, it just doesn't work that way. So it's tough to gauge that kind of stuff. But either way, I felt like today that Aaron Rodgers tried to get a lot more of Jonnu Smith since Jonnu hadn't been out there. He tried to get a little bit more up to speed with him. So tried to get up to speed with him a little bit more. So my man John Pennington says Jones should be on a very short leash, if for nothing more, to put him on notice that he needs to step up his game or move back to the second or third line. The only problem with that, John, Broderick Jones, even on his worst day, is better than any backup that the Pittsburgh Steelers have currently on the roster. So it was kind of like last year. It's like, yeah, Broderick isn't playing well, but who are you going to put in ahead of him? There was nobody. So got to deal with it. And the same thing holds true right this very second. Now, that doesn't mean that there couldn't be somebody that the Steelers go and get. But as of right now, yeah, there's nobody on the roster, even if Broderick Jones is playing bad, that you're going to say, oh, yeah, just put him on the bench. No, we're not going to do that. And we got to give him some grace to get better, too. We can't just, say he's on such a short leash and then just pull him. You can't do that, especially when there's nobody to back him up. Now, if you have somebody, that's a different conversation. But if you don't, then what are we doing? So, but it's still early. Let's get some pads on and let's see what that looks like. If that doesn't look good, it's a different conversation. Let's move on. Our main man, Will Howard. Lord have mercy. Will Howard has gotten you would think Will Howard is the biggest star that's ever played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He goes into the game in 11 on 11 for the first time. Wasn't with the first team or anything. He just got on the field. The crowd went absolutely berserk. And the biggest ovation by far was for Will Howard to walk onto the field and get into the huddle. Biggest ovation by far. The crowd sees Will Howard as, and I call it the people's champ, as the guy that they believe can be the future. So many people see that. And look, I've said it over and over and over again, and I'll continue to say it. Will Howard is fine. I think Will Howard in this league, I would never say anybody can't be good because we don't know. Nobody has a crystal ball to tell us, oh, yeah, Will Howard's going to be a 10-year starter. Well, nobody knows that. But Will Howard isn't ready to start right now. I can assure you of that. And he probably isn't going to be ready to start even next year. I can assure you of that. Well, I guess maybe I can't assure you of next year, but definitely not this year. He is not ready to start right now. But we have to temper all the expectations because I know what it is. We haven't had a quarterback. He kind of reminds people of Big Ben, and we just think, oh yeah, he'll be the quarterback of the future. He's Big Ben. Look how big he is. And I just try to temper people and warn people. I'm like, Will Howard has not Ben Roethlisberger. And I'm not comparing the finished product of Ben Roethlisberger. I'm comparing rookie Ben Roethlisberger to rookie Will Howard. His arm isn't as strong. He's not as athletic. He's not as big. Okay? Ben Roethlisberger was drafted in the first round of a very good quarterback draft. If you remember, Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers were in that draft. Will Howard was drafted in the 6th round of a bad quarterback draft. So, again, I'm not saying that he can't be anything. And it's fine for people to cheer for him. I want people to cheer for him. Hell, he went to my school. He went to Kansas State. So I want people to cheer for him. I just don't want people to, because they put this expectation on him, and if he doesn't meet it, they're going to say he's a bust. Well, how many 6th-round busts have you ever even heard of? Like somebody gets drafted in the 6th round. Oh, that guy was a bust. I don't think that even exists. You know what I mean? Like that's not a thing. A 6th-round pick that doesn't necessarily pan out. Nobody calls them a bust. I feel like Steeler fans are setting themselves up to say that about him, and I don't want that for him. You know what I mean? I think I think he can be a viable backup. Hopefully he can turn into a starter in this league. But I don't want the fans, I don't want us giving that kind of ovation and then all of a sudden he doesn't play as well as what you think. Oh man, he was terrible. He's a wasted pick. I'm like, it was 6th round. Mark Malone, you're exactly right. Mason Rudolph's got to be like, huh? and make no mistake, people, Mason Rudolph is the backup. There is no battle between Will Howard and Mason Rudolph being the backup quarterback of this football team this year. There is no battle. Mason Rudolph is the backup. Period. Barring injury, it's Mason Rudolph. So, and I know people will say, well, what if Will Howard plays great? Will Howard could play outstanding in preseason. The backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be Mason Rudolph because Mason Rudolph has played well in real football games, has experience, understands how to be a pro. That's who the backup is. Now, next year, maybe there can be a battle, and we can figure that out then. But this year, there's no battle. There just isn't. And I'm okay with it. I don't think there even needs to be one. So, Anthony Hardy say, I was just going to disagree with you, but you said something about the class that Big Ben was drafted with. Yeah. I mean, Big Ben, I don't know if Phillip Rivers is getting to the Hall of Fame. He probably should. Well, in the top 11 picks, there were 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that got drafted with Big Ben. That ain't going to be the case with this draft of these quarterbacks this year. I'm sorry. Now, anything's possible. Anything's possible. I just don't believe that to necessarily be the case. So, Raul says, sign Duck Hodges, send a message. Stop. Stop it. What's going on, Tyrone? How you doing, man? So, John says, I watched a tape of the top 15 quarterbacks coming out next year. I would stay with Howard over all of them. John, no, you would not, man. No, you would not. Will Howard is not better than the top 15 quarterbacks coming out of the draft next year. I understand the fandom. I get it. I'm a diehard too. Like I said, Will Howard went to the university that I went to. I covered him. I talked about him on a daily basis. Will Howard is just not better than those guys. He's just not. Will Howard isn't any better at Ohio State than what he was at Kansas State. He just had better players, which is okay. It's okay. And I shouldn't say he was the same player because he got better. Let me correct myself. He got better, but these guys that are coming out next year are better than Will Howard, and that's okay to say. It's Joe. That's just okay to say. And if you would, John, that's great. Good for you, my man. Good for you. We appreciate you. So, yeah, CID, you're right. Baby Hands had a perfect pre. Remember how hype we were in 2023 when Baby Hands looked phenomenal in the preseason? Perfect quarterback rating for the entire preseason. We're like, yeah, buddy. Kenny Pickett has figured this thing out. We got it. That first game came and he looked like a deer in the headlight. He looked like a JV quarterback playing against professionals. I was like, holy cow, this guy, what in the hell happened? Now, you can say it was bad offensive play calling and all that. I'm just like, okay, some of that, yeah. But, woo, he was bad. He was bad. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So, but we'll find out. I like I said, is that I like Will Howard. I want him to work as extremely hard as he can. I want him to learn as much as he possibly can, soak up all this information, and then go battle next year and see what happens. Go see what happens. So, Caleb says Broderick Jones is a liability. Let's give Broderick a little grace and get it figured out. I don't want to call him a liability. I don't want to label him just yet. But if anybody was subscribed to us last year and you watched the all 22s that I did on the offensive line last year after every game, which we'll do again this year, you know I was hard on Broderick Jones, and it didn't have anything to do with ability. It was his focus, his focus, his want to, his effort. It was all bad. It was all bad. And that's got to change. That's got to change. So we can't. It's still early in camp. It's still early in camp. And again, another thing is we only get tidbits. For instance, what if Broderick Jones was kicking ass all practice, but the one play that they put all over the internet, all over Twitter, was the play he got beat? Well, doesn't that make it look like he was getting his ass kicked all practice? That's what I'm talking about. Got to give it some time. We got to give it some time. And I know I fell right in for it. I fell for the bait too. I'm just like you guys. Hey, man, y'all are going to, if for anybody that's new, y'all are going to find out I am just as crazy as you guys when it comes to this stuff. I am a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan. This is a channel by a fan for the fans. I just happen to have a little bit of football knowledge. We may or may not agree on everything, but I fell for the bait too. Like I said, what if that was the only play that Broderick got beat and the rest of the practice he was kicking? And now, granted, that wasn't the case because you heard people talking. Yeah, Broderick struggled. Broderick didn't look good. I mean, we heard that. I'm just saying some of that can be the case. People got a narrative too that they want to put out there. So that's the whole difference is. Steve Stroud says, right now, talking the future, Howard is in the position to take the mantle. We wasting a year. So apparently, Steve, you think that Will Howard should be the starting quarterback right now? I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate your opinion, man, but Will Howard's not ready to be a starter in the National Football League. He's just not. He's just not. And what are we wasting a year on? I don't know what wasting a year means. Like, we're not trying this year? All right. I guess. Aisha says the only reason I'm not too worried about Broderick is all of his bad habits are fixable. On the other hand, he hasn't fixed them yet, so we'll see. You're very true. Very true. Like, he had a lot of bad habits. So he had a lot of bad habits last year. And some of it pouting because he wasn't playing left tackle. Some of it, I think he was hurt. I think we all know he was hurt. But some of it was, but you can't pout as a professional. Stop pouting. It didn't help. That's the one thing. His pouting didn't help him. So as a professional, you tend to try to find things that you can do that are going to help you. Well, pouting didn't help him. So got to get past that. So Derek says, if we think Howard is the future, then we are in trouble. We have a shot to get a franchise quarterback next year. I'm not going to say that we're in trouble. I just think people, they automatically believe. When was the last time that people just said, hey, we took a 6th-round quarterback. That's the quarterback of the future. Like, when have you heard that? Like his rookie year. Like, hey, a team drafted a guy in the 6th round. Yep, that's the future. When have you heard that? And I'm just asking questions. Like when, and don't tell me Tom Brady because you're lying. Nobody has said that, hey, yep, that's 6th-round quarterback. That's the future. That's not how this works, man. That's not how this works. Nobody has said that. So that's all I'm saying is that you can't just say Will Howard's the future. Every team in the league passed up on him multiple times. He might end up being the future. That could happen. But for people to just say right now, oh, yeah, for sure, guaranteed. Come on. Stop. So, but I get it. We're excited. And there's nothing wrong with being excited, though. There's nothing wrong with being excited. There's nothing wrong with praising that young man. Nothing at all. I just want to temper the expectations because if it doesn't work out, I just don't want people calling him a bust. That's all. That's the reason that I'm trying to temper expectations. No other reason than that. Because I don't want people screaming if it doesn't work out, oh, he was a bust, a waste of a draft pick. When do people say drafting a 6th-round guy is a waste of a draft pick? I don't think anybody ever says that. So we shouldn't either. That's all. CID said, man, even Brady, the only reason he got on the field is because Bledsoe got hurt. That's exactly right. They weren't. And here's the thing. Bledsoe was playing well up until that point. Like, Drew Bledsoe wasn't playing bad. He just decided, well, Marvin Jones is coming to blow me up. I wonder if he can knock me out and run right through my chest. Well, it turns out Marvin Jones could run right through his chest and blew Drew Bledsoe up. If Drew Bledsoe slides, when does Tom Brady even get to play? Stuff like that, man. You just never know. You never know. John, you got to stop saying stuff like that out loud, man. So you're saying there isn't a franchise quarterback in next year's draft. When you draft a QB, it's a crapshoot. When you draft a QB, it's 100% a crapshoot. But if there were franchise quarterbacks in this year's draft, next year's draft, you're only basing it on what you're seeing on the football field. Those quarterbacks are just better. But I see that's the hill you're going to die on, so more power to you, John. We appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you. So Isha Ballard says, we have the chance to get players like Lenore Sellers or Drew Aller. We don't need to settle on Will Howard until he is proven. And I hope he gets a chance to do that. Absolutely. Like, the Steelers aren't going to say, hey, we got Will Howard. We're not drafting a quarterback early. They're not going to, or I shouldn't say they're not going to because I don't know that. They shouldn't do that. Let's just say that. They shouldn't do that. So, yes, Tyrone, the next QB draft is good. I think John is a Will Howard fanatic, and he wants to see him be the starter. I don't blame him. I'm the same way. When I like somebody and I want them to have a job, position, whatever it is, I'm going to say some outlandish stuff in their favor as well. I'm going to say that too. So I get it. I 100% get it. So I 100% get it. So it is what it is. Just because Purdy was a 7th-round draft pick, that doesn't mean anything. How many other 7th-round draft picks have been good in your lifetime? I'll just take it back. Your lifetime. How many 7th-round quarterbacks have been good? Hell, How many 6th-round quarterbacks in your lifetime have ended up being good NFL starters? Come on, man. You got to stop. Or don't. I'm with you. I get it, though. I get it. So, Mr. Dodd, what is going on, man? We appreciate you. We appreciate you. What's up, man? So, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Our man Beanie Bishop. It's gonna be tough. I can tell you right now, it's gonna be tough for Beanie Bishop. So Darius Slay got a vet day today, so he wasn't out at practice. And well, he's at practice, he just wasn't practicing. Just like Cam and TJ Watt, those guys didn't practice today. So the Jalen Ramsey moved to the outside. So Jalen Ramsey was your starter at outside corner. But the slot corner, which essentially is the backup, was Brandon Echols. So I don't know. That's the difference. Beanie Bishop was not. So basically, Beanie Bishop is third in the pecking order of slot corner. That's going to make it tough for him to make the football team. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that's going to make it tough. And the reason why it's going to make it tough is the versatility. You could say, well, Jalen Ramsey's versatile, but yeah, he can play outside, he can play slot, he can play safety as well. Okay. But so Brandon Echols isn't a safety, but Brandon Echols can play inside and he can also play outside. And today would have been the perfect, now granted, it's still early in camp, but it would have been the perfect opportunity for the Steelers. Hey, you know what? We got to start her out. Where are we going next? Well, where the Steelers went was, well, we'll put Jalen Ramsey on the outside. We're going to put Brandon Echols on the inside. That's going to make it tough for Beanie Bishop, again, is going to have to fight. He's going to have to fight. So that's the difference. We're going to have to fight. But when you're an undrafted free agent, I think that's kind of expected. I think that's what is expected from you, is to fight. And again, he didn't have a great year. He didn't have a terrible year. I know some people try to say Beanie Bishop had a terrible year. It wasn't a terrible year by any stretch. However, it wasn't great. Plus, he got his reps taken away at the end of the year, but that was more of a coaching error than anything. Cam Sutton wasn't playing better than him. They just thought Cam Sutton was going to be able to play better than him, and he couldn't. So to me, that was more of a coaching just malpractice. So, but we'll see. Mr. Dodd with the super chat, he said Steelers will lead the league in sacks again. Going to play a lot of man coverage, Big B. Yeah, because they're going to be able to keep guys in front of them, be able to redirect routes, coverage, and complementary football. Better D-line, can rush the passer. Guys can cover a little bit longer. Helps the pass rush get there. Pass rush can get there maybe quicker. Complementary football. I like it. I like it. So, I like it a lot. Steve says we don't know what Rodgers is going to do on the field. We don't know what anybody's going to do on the field. We don't know what anyone is going to do on the field. Not one person. So I'm not sure why we don't know what Rodgers is going to do. We don't know what Rodgers is going to do. We don't know what Broderick Jones is going to do. We don't know what TJ Watt is going to do. We don't know what anybody's going to do. Everything is on paper at this point. Everything. Derek, you don't think Bishop is going to make the cut? I don't know. Corey Trice even looked good today. Some people are saying move Corey Trice to safety, give it a chance. And my only thought about that is first of all, they like Corey Trice as a corner. Okay, that's number one. But number two, Corey Trice can't stay healthy. So they don't even know if he can play corner in the National Football League yet. Like, we haven't seen enough because he can't stay healthy enough to actually do it. So, and I get the premise of, hey, this guy's not a good corner. Let's move him to safety and see if he can do it. Well, that's the whole thing. They don't know if he's a good corner yet. They haven't been able to see enough of him to say, okay, it's not going to work at corner. Like, he hasn't done enough for that. I know a lot of people will look at the Cincinnati game last year and say, well, he got cooked by Jamar Chase. Well, who doesn't? I mean, seriously, who doesn't? Especially when you decide to just leave him by himself one-on-one for a lot of the game. Okay, it happens. So I don't disagree that maybe we need to move Trice to safety, but I think they got to give him an opportunity, or he's got to give himself. Now, granted, I mean, he doesn't want to get hurt, but you got to give him an opportunity to prove that he can't do it before you talk about moving him. That's all. So that's all. Got to give him an opportunity. Zach says Will Howard will finish the season as QB. I'll tell you this. If Will Howard finishes the season as the Steelers starting QB, the season has gone in the toilet. Because both Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers either both got hurt or they both have stunk. So if what you're saying, Zach, is true, then the Steelers season will be a disaster. It will be a disaster. It's that simple. Because Will Howard's going to be the number 3 quarterback. He's going to be the number 3 quarterback. So, and that's just the way it is. Now, today, I mean, people are talking about Will Howard as the QB4. I'm like, man, look, Will Howard would have been the 3rd quarterback at the end of the day. Skylar Thompson is so bad. So bad. Ugh. So bad. But here's another thing for Beanie Bishop that he's going to have, and Corey Trice. Dante Kent looks good out there. Dante Kent looks good. Now, again, so I get it that it's still early without pads, but Dante Kent looks good. He looks good. So, Helping Hand said his message was, or Hip Hop Head said his message was retracted. I saw what he said before. Maybe YouTube, or maybe he took it back. I saw what you said. I liked it. I like it. Talk about the punter battle. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about as of yet. You know, day 3 of camp. Got to wait till preseason to kind of get into that. So, but it is a battle, Aaron Gilbert. It is a battle, you know. And who would think a battle of punters, of good ones, you know? And it's not just, you know, the punting aspect. Think about what Waitman did last year. Comes in off the street, averages, I think it was 46.1 yards per punt, which is outstanding. But then he also holds for the best kicker in the league. That's not an easy thing to do. You know, that's just not an easy thing to do. So, Mr. Dodd with the super chat, he said, what a relief to know this secondary is better than last year. Think about that. Oh, my God. It's light years better than last year. Now, they still got to go out there and do it, and we're still early. But, again, everything on paper at this point. Everything is on paper at this point. But I'll take this paper versus last year's paper, if that makes sense. Shoot, I'll take this year's paper over last year's paper all day long. All day long. Know how Beanie Bishop can make the team? Beat out James Pierre on special teams. If you can do that, Beanie Bishop, and you can be a gunner, you can make the team. Because James Pierre can't cover anybody in this chat, including myself. He can't do that. But he is good on special teams. Beanie Bishop is a better cover guy than him. But we got a lot of those. But if you can beat out James Pierre on special teams, then you will make the football team. He will make the football team. That's the best way. So, Steve said with Rodgers definitely retiring, it's all or nothing. Then we have to go fishing again. Well, I think we all knew that, Steven. We knew that, my man. So, we knew that. We're good. Yes, it was 10 times better than last year. Definitely the secondary is better than last year. I cringe every time I think about Dante Jackson was our starting cornerback last year. I just cringe, you know. And people tried to say, and they argued with me a little bit, talking about, well, Dante Jackson had 5 interceptions. I'm like, he did. He absolutely did. But name me just one time where you saw Dante Jackson cut off a route and get an interception, cut off a receiver on a comeback and stepped in front of somebody for an interception. His interceptions came on tip balls and overthrown passes, which, first off, he's got to catch it, and you got to be in the right spot. So I give him credit for that. But come on, man. Come on. So Cam, son, don't start, CID. Don't. I'm trying to be in a good mood. I've been in a good mood today, and you're going to start with the Cam Sutton stuff? Don't do that, brother. I can't with that. Damn Cam Sutton. Oh. Yes, Dante Jackson was the right place at the right kind of time corner. And to be honest with you, that's not the cornerback that you want. You don't want the cornerback that's at the right place at the right time. He just happened to be there. No, you don't want that. Because every now and then, you're right, a ball will get thrown to him. But you don't want your cornerback to be the guy, oh, yeah, man, he's been at the right place at the right time. No, you're wanting the guy that's forcing the action. Yeah, they don't even throw it his way. He's blanketing receivers. That's the guy that you want. So that is the guy what you want. No, I know, CID. I know what you were saying, man. I was just teasing. So, well, that's what I got for you guys today, man. I appreciate you all. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. I can't wait for the pads to come on. I think they come on Tuesday because they got to practice tomorrow. Then on Monday, they got an off day. And then the first padded practice is on Tuesday. So we'll be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. Again, telling you guys what's what. Just to let you guys know, man, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you guys please subscribe to the channel. If you want to become a member, you know that members always get their comments and questions up on the screen. So make sure if you want to be a part of that, sign up to become a member. 4th level or higher, I would say, so you get access to all 22 breakdowns that we do. You go to the 5th level, we're streaming live games all year long with me, watching games together and having a lot of fun with Pittsburgh Steelers. So we appreciate that. Mr. Dodd again with Super Chat. He says, is there a scenario where we line up in 13 personnel on the goal line with Jonnu line up as receiver? I mean, I guess we could, but then you're relying on Connor Hayward to be one of the inline blockers. But yeah, you could. And if you did that, I mean, you're probably going to throw the football. You're probably throwing it to Jonnu on a one-on-one situation. But yeah, you could do that. Or you could do 13 personnel. How about you have Jonnu, Pat Freiermuth, and Connor Hayward, but then you split out big Mount Washington. And then you just throw a fade to him one-on-one to I don't know, let the corner be 6 foot. He's still giving up 7 or 8 inches to him. A lot we can do, man. It's a lot we can do. I'm just saying, there's a lot we can do this year. It's up to Arthur Smith to figure all that out. So I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you again, as always. We will be back tomorrow at the same time. I appreciate you. Talk to you soon, and aloha.